my name is Tracy Wagner, and I am the lower school Spanish teacher at Sierra Canyon School. I have been there for the last 6 years, and I teach pre-K through 5th grade Spanish. It's been a blast, and in the spring, just like everybody else, I had to move my classroom home, and that's what you're looking at. What used to be an extra bedroom is now my teaching space. I am quite sure that at your home, your bedrooms, living rooms, kitchens, dining rooms have all turned into virtual classrooms. And I'm here to give you some pointers and talk about some things that I've been through. First of all, I would like to say thank you for letting me be part of this week where people are coming on and giving pointers and tips and pieces of advice. I am going to talk about two different things. One is from the point of view of a teacher, and the other as from the point of view of a mother. And the first thing I'm here to say is relax. Take a deep breath. Worrying isn't going to do you any good. I know this is all cliche, but it's the best I've got. I found a couple quotes about worrying that I really like, and I want to share them with you. One of them says, "Worry does not take away tomorrow's troubles. It takes away today's peace." Think about that for a minute. The second one says, "Worrying is literally betting against yourself." So we don't want to bet against ourselves. I'm here to give you a couple pointers that will help you in a Zoom setting. Number one, what you can do, be ready for the day. Please don't have your child in bed. Please don't have your child on Zoom from the couch with a blanket over them or lying on the floor. It's a school day. They should be in a chair and ready to go. Schedule your day. There's school, and then there's the other activities. It gives it importance and priority. This is my plea to parents. Background noise. I know many parents think if they're talking really quietly on the telephone that maybe you can't be heard through Zoom, but I'm here to tell you, you can. I cannot tell you the conversations and the language I have heard while teaching a 2nd grade Spanish class because moms or dads are back there on their phone or cleaning the dishes or loading the dishwasher. We can hear it all. So a separate environment would be fantastic. All right, that's all I have about the Zoom. Now it's time to get personal. So I have 2 boys. They're 19 and 21 years old. So some of you are probably thinking, who is she to give us any advice? She doesn't have little ones running around pulling at my skirt, right? Raise your hand if you're thinking that, because I know you are. But my follow-up question is, who here has children who have learning differences and struggle with learning? That's what I'm here to talk about. I've been a teacher for a long time, and I have 2 children who have had different kind of learning differences, and it has been a struggle. It's been a battle for years. So I'm going to tell you my story and then maybe just give you a couple pieces of advice. So my son, who's 21 right now, was diagnosed with ADHD when he was in the 4th grade. I went kicking and screaming. I was not about to put him on any medication. But I realized when a doctor told me this, and I loved this piece of advice, he said to me, when you have hay fever or allergies, you take a Benadryl. It doesn't cure you of your allergies, but it takes the haze away so that you can function. And that's what the ADHD medications do. He said he just needs it to be able to function in a classroom so he's not hearing the clock ticking or shoes walking outside the classroom. It was just, it's just to help them be able to focus. He really struggled all through elementary school, even with the medication. It wasn't until he got into high school and really grew up that he realized what he had to do and how he had to be on top of himself and routines in order to make a better education experience for himself. So now he's a junior at UCSB. Thank my lucky stars. Like he's done a great job. My younger son Eli is 19 years old. He, in the 2nd grade, was diagnosed with dyslexia, auditory processing delays, executive functioning delays, dysgraphia. It really struggled. Eli had chronic ear infections, food allergies. He had tonsils and adenoids removed and ear tubes put in. And he did much better with his speech after that, but learning has always been a challenge. And it also snowballed to, as a teenager, he suffers from anxiety and depression. And it has been a very serious, really tough road. But I'm here to tell you, if you have children who are going through this, you're not the only one. There are many people who go through this. Nobody posts this on Facebook. Nobody says, oh, here, look at my child who's suffering and it's a living nightmare in my house. Nobody does that. But there are people out there. So one of the things I really, truly am here to tell you is I'm one of those people. So if you need someone to talk to who's a stranger or ask advice or opinions, I'm not a professional, but I've been there, and I'm a mom who struggled through this, and I'm more than happy to talk to you, and I promise I'm not going to be gossiping to your friends because I don't know who your friends are. So please reach out and talk to me or talk to somebody. One of the things that I recommend highly to parents is please get your kid assessed. If they're struggling, please have them assessed. Please have them assessed. A lot of people don't do that because they feel like the child is going to be labeled throughout school. And I completely understand that concern. However, we want to give them a head start. And these kids, and I'm going to use a word that you're never supposed to use, these kids are not normal. They can't process things the way other brains process. And they need a head start. They need something to help them. So please give them the benefit of finding out what you can do to help them. One of the other things that I always did is I would always write a letter to the teacher at the beginning of the year. I emailed everybody and I said, this is what my child's dealing with. Here's what we've gone through in the past. Here's what happened last year. Oh, by the way, we're going through a divorce. There's another thing to keep in mind. So just give your child the credit that they need and say, let everybody around know that they need some help. Let's see. Oh, so you want to let the teachers know your struggles. And the other thing that I did in my letters, and I know, whatever, I'm one of those, I just kind of say it like it is. People like to call these things learning challenges, learning differences. No, I call it a disability. I called it what it is because my child could not function. He just couldn't. And he had to finish high school in an alternative way. I'm happy to share that with you sometime. Another piece of advice I have for you is make time for yourself. I know you're making time for your family. Hopefully you guys are having dinner together or going for walks or doing something, but you need time alone also. I don't care. Take a bath, take a walk around the block, lock yourself in your room for 5 minutes and try to decompress. But there is good news. I'm sorry. I feel like this was a little bit of a depressing sort of segment, but I wanted just to let you know that you're not alone. If you're going through any of this, you are not. There are people out there, and I'm one of them. The good news is, though, in this learning in the time of COVID, if you have that kid who's distracting, who's the ADHD kid, and you're like, oh my gosh, I'm so embarrassed. You know what? There's a mute button on Zoom. Your teacher can mute that child. And I do it all the time, and it is perfectly fine. If the child doesn't want to pay attention, then the other kids can still get what they need to get. Also, all I want to leave you with is this. Do your best and let your child do their best. And the worst case scenario in this whole time of COVID and having learning done from home is that maybe your kid doesn't learn everything they were supposed to learn this year. So they're in 2nd grade, 3rd grade, 5th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. They will catch up. I think the best case scenario is that we all learn to adapt. That schools, parents, everybody learns to realize that there's more to life than getting straight A's or getting the highest GPA. You know, I feel like having a 1st grader who reads at a 4th grade level or having a high schooler with the highest GPA, I know we like to pat ourselves on the back and say, oh, what a fantastic child, how wonderful. And it is wonderful, and those are all great accolades, and you shouldn't ignore them. But having a child who is at the top of the class is not nearly as important as having a well-adjusted child who can function in life. And when things get crazy, they can adapt and they can be happy and not stressed out. And that they can make the most of what's presented to them. Your child has some amazing parents. I know this because you're part of the Maiden community. And I know this because you're watching and you really want to see if there's anything out there that you haven't heard yet. You may have heard all of this. If so, I apologize. If not, if it's been helpful, it's been a pleasure to be here. And I wish you the best school year ever. And enjoy your family while they're home. Give lots more hugs. Thank you. Bye.